The mistake hasn't happened yet, but they've already corrected it. Inside the crane cabin, the operator's hands barely graze the controls. A massive steel beam hangs suspended in midair. It sways, just slightly, in the breeze that whispers across the construction site. You might think they're reacting to the sway, making those minute adjustments to keep it steady, but that's not it. This isn't reaction. This is anticipation. Their eyes scan the scene, absorbing every detail of the environment. A checklist runs silently in their mind. Distance, alignment, wind speed. The load stabilizes midair, the beam hovering like it's weightless. It doesn't drift, doesn't sway beyond control. It stays exactly where it's supposed to be. This isn't random. A subtle shift in the joystick, barely perceptible, preempts any errant movement. The operator isn't just moving the crane, they're steering the future. They sense something slightly wrong before it ever manifests. The anticipated drift that never comes. The correction before the error even exists. What's happening here is a dance of micro-adjustments. Each tiny input, each flick of the wrist, is a preemptive strike against chaos. The operator's focus narrows, then broadens, constantly recalibrating as new variables emerge. Their feet maintain a steady position, braced but relaxed, ready for any sudden shift. They're not tense, they're prepared. A shift happens every moment. The beam sways less and less, responding to the invisible commands from the cabin. Each movement is calculated, a predictive control that seems almost instinctual. The operator's experience is a map of future probabilities, and they navigate it with precision. They're not responding to the machine, they're predicting it. At any second, those around might notice something amiss, but the operator has already seen it, already corrected it. The machine follows their lead, mirroring their silent command. The beam is lowered, inch by precise inch, until it fits perfectly into the structure below. Here, it's not about reacting to what's happening now, it's about what happens next and ensuring it's exactly as planned. As the crane settles, the realization dawns. They're not controlling the machine. They're controlling what happens next. The suspended load sways slightly, caught by an unexpected breeze. An ordinary observer might see a simple twist in the air, but the operator sees it differently. This is not just a gust, it's a precursor, a signal of potential chaos. Their hand hovers over the control lever, not to react to the sway, but to anticipate its next move. Here, anticipation isn't about what's visible. It's about what's virtually inevitable. Inertia is deceptive. It lulls you into believing that the load will settle on its own, but the operator knows better. The weight, heavy and deliberate, carries a delayed response. The wind nudges it gently now, but it holds a latent promise of a larger swing. This isn't a matter of correcting after the fact, it's about preventing momentum from ever building in the first place. The operator applies a subtle counter-move, a shift so intuitive it seems like second nature. They're not responding to the load's current position. They're predicting where it will be in the next few moments. It's a dance with physics, where each step is calculated, each adjustment preemptive. This isn't reaction, this is foresight. Maintaining control under pressure is about managing cognitive load. It's a mental juggling act, where the operator tracks not just the load, but the shifting variables around it. Wind speed, angle of swing, even the invisible pull of gravity. All these elements swirl in the operator's mind. What's happening here is a continuous assessment of risk and momentum. The key lies in recognizing patterns before they fully materialize. Something feels off, a subtle shift in the air, a faint vibration in the controls. Experienced operators learn to trust these instincts. They adjust earlier, not because they have to, but because they know what comes next. It's a skill honed over countless hours, a deep familiarity with the machinery and the environment. As the load begins its arc, the operator shifts their focus. It's not just the immediate swing they're concerned with, it's the chain reaction it could set off. Each movement carries potential consequences. The operator's job is to foresee these outcomes and steer them before they unfold. This is how anticipation replaces reaction, how control is maintained amidst complexity. This isn't fast thinking, it's trained pattern recognition, an ability to see the invisible threads connecting action and consequence. The operator stays ahead of the movement, always slightly in the future, navigating a landscape of potentialities. Most people react after something moves. They adjust before it ever does. He doesn't grab the wheel in panic. Instead, he lets it breathe, feeling the subtle vibrations under his fingers. This isn't about controlling the machine. It's about controlling timing. The art of restraint is his tool. The slightest movement here with a gentle nudge there, and the wheels align themselves, finding their own balance as if by magic. What's happening here is an invisible decision-making process. He's choosing not to adjust immediately, by holding back, by letting motion settle. He allows the system to recalibrate naturally. It's not about applying more force, it's about knowing when to let go. Because when the urge to overcorrect creeps in, stability falters. The more force you use, the more unstable things become. But he knows better. He waits. In this quiet space between action and inaction, the true skill reveals itself. It's not about making grand gestures, it's about minimal input creating large outcomes. A subtle shift, a slight lean, and suddenly, everything falls into place. This isn't reaction. This is anticipation. He predicts the path before it curves, senses the tension before it builds. He's not responding to the chaos, he's guiding it with precision. In daily life, we often mirror this dance, a tense situation, a moment of pressure, and the instinct is to react quickly, to fix things aggressively. But every overcorrection spirals into more corrections, each move digging the hole a little deeper. Letting things breathe, waiting instead of reacting, transforms chaos into calm. This principle extends beyond machinery, touching every corner of human behavior. Imagine a conversation spiraling out of control. The impulse is to jump in, to steer it back immediately. But sometimes, the wisest choice is to listen, to let the words drift and settle. The quiet realization here is profound. Control isn't about reacting faster, it's about knowing when not to move. In a world obsessed with doing more, the true mastery lies in intentional restraint. Holding back, waiting, allows the rhythm to find itself, stabilizing through patience. So, as the hum of the engine fades and the world slows, we see that the real power isn't in seizing every moment. It's in recognizing the moments we can let go. We leave the wheel, and perhaps life itself, with a question. What if control is less about holding tight and more about the grace in letting go?